9 episodes of season 1 of What If out, I decided to rank them all from worst to best, and honestly, I've only done 2 of these rankings before. I ranked all the episodes of WandaVision and all the episodes of Loki, but this one, deciding where to put which episode from What If has been really difficult. I'm just going to get on with my ranking of all 9 episodes of What If. Coming in at number 9 is episode 7, What If Thor Were an Only Child. I did have a lot of fun with this episode. It was funny, but then it was the one out of all of them where I was like, why did they make this a what if episode? Out of all these scenarios you can do, you chose to make Party Thor. And yeah, this episode was a whole lot of fun and it was really entertaining. I mean, we saw Darcy marry Howard the Duck, and then we actually see a really good relationship between Thor and Loki because Loki wasn't raised by Odin. But then this episode was kind of like, why did you do it? I didn't need to see Thor partying around the world. I mean, yes, he came to England, he came to Stonehenge, my hometown, that was great, but like, I didn't really need to see that. Out of all these other what if scenarios that you could have done, I didn't really need to see this one. And coming in at number 8 is episode 1, What If Captain Carter Were the First Avenger? And this is actually really sad because I do really like the Captain Carter character. I like her in this episode and when she shows up in later episodes. But then the story surrounding her, it was pretty much Captain America the First Avenger, but told from her perspective, told from a female Captain America. And yeah, I did like the Captain Carter character. I mean, she looked awesome in that suit, she looked awesome with the bloody Union Jack shield, but yeah, it was nice to see a female Captain Carter, and I would love to see that in like live action form in a real film if they were to do that. And I'm sorry, but some people may love it, but I didn't like it that much. And it was Bucky's jokes, I just found them really like silly and dumb, and they didn't really make me laugh, they just made me confused. Like, that's not a Bucky I'm used to, and I didn't quite like seeing that side of Bucky.
Oh wow, Lord of the Calamari!
But yeah, the Captain Carter character was amazing, but her episode not that much. Coming in at number 7 is episode 6, What If Killmonger Rescued Tony Stark? And this episode was an interesting one because it has the character Killmonger, and he is such an interesting character. I loved him in the movie Black Panther, and he's like one of the best villains in my eyes, and then seeing him in this episode where he's like double agent working with Tony, then killing Rhodey, killing Black Panther, working to save Wakanda, like just going back and forth, it's crazy. But the thing that bumped it up from like the bottom spot is actually the women in this episode. I loved that Pepper was sus on Killmonger all along, same with Happy. And I loved that there was towards the end there was like a team up with Shuri. But I love the Queen. I can't remember her name. T'Challa's mother. I loved her, and especially when she said for T'Challa, that brought tears to my eyes. And that she was actually in the fight. How many times do you see like royalty, like the rulers actually in the fight? And she was there tearing up these robots, and I loved it. In number 6 is episode 3, What If the World Lost Its Mightiest Heroes? And this episode was just a roller coaster of emotions. I mean, we saw 5 Avengers get killed in such like suspicious circumstances. I mean, Iron Man got killed and then Black Widow got framed for it, then Thor got killed and Hawkeye got framed for it, and then just the Hulk bloody ballooned up and exploded. I was like, what the hell? They literally just said he can't die and then he died. And then this whole episode was just like a murder mystery. Who done it? Why are they doing it? And it turns out it was Hank Pym, and he became like a crazy hybrid of Ant-Man and the Yellow Jacket. That was so crazy, and that reveal was crazy. And then in the fight between him and Nick Fury was crazy, because I was literally like, in my reaction video, I was like, how is he doing all this? How is Nick Fury this agile? But then it turns out it was Loki in disguise. I mean, that whole episode was just a whole bunch of crazy, but now that I've seen it, it's kind of like worn off. I'm not going to be that shocked again watching it for a second time, and that's why it isn't higher up in this ranking. And coming in at number 5 is episode 2, What If T'Challa Became a Star-Lord? Of course, T'Challa is the one to make the name Star-Lord a name, and I just loved that. Yeah, it was T'Challa that could do that, and he made like Star-Lord peaceful, made the Ravengers good, tamed Thanos, he tamed the Mad Titan Thanos, and I just loved that there was kind of like a little thing between him and Nebula. And also Nebula has hair, that was shocking as well. It was a nice like twist to like the Star-Lord story, to the T'Challa story. And speaking of crazy and totally bonkers, coming in at number 4 is episode 8, What If Ultron Won? Seeing like the Vision Ultron, seeing Vision get sucked into Ultron was crazy. The 2 main takeaways from this episode is literally just how easy Ultron sliced Thanos in half and stole the Infinity Stones. If Vision was in there in Infinity War, Thanos would have been gone in an instant. And then the second crazy thing was like the callback to Endgame, where instead of Black Widow sacrificing herself, it was Hawkeye who did it. And yes, It did make me cry. It did make me emotional. I'm sick of losing these people in this way. And I love that this episode was like Hawkeye and Black Widow were the last ones standing, the last ones surviving on Earth. Like it was very much them centric, and I loved that. And then the fight between the Watcher and Ultron. Oh my god, when he broke into like that space where the Watcher was, I was like, can he do that? Before I give my top 3, if you like this video, please leave it a like and subscribe for more. Comment down below your ranking of all 9 episodes of What If, or just your favourite, or just your worst, and why, because that'd be really interesting to know. But coming in at number 3 is part 2, What If the Watcher Broke His Oath. And honestly, this was like a perfect part 2 to What If Ultron Won. I love like this new team that the Watcher built, where he went around recruiting like these different people from these different realities. And the biggest standout in this episode was Captain Carter. Her one line, never thought I would hear her say this, never thought I would hear that at all said in the MCU, but then she said it. I loved her dynamic with Nat, and I just loved her in this, and I loved that it was Nat. Nat was the one who shot the arrow to take down Ultron, and I just loved that it came full circle with her again. And I just loved that it was Evil Strange who realised that they weren't meant to win, they were just meant to stop it. They ended up stopping Ultron, they took the Infinity Stones out of him, but then it was Blade Zola taking over the body, and he's like, what can I do with these Infinity Stones? And then Killmonger, of course, I knew he wasn't good. He's never good, he's just always evil, but he has good intentions, but he does it in an evil way, and he wants the Infinity Stones as well. But then they just put it in that little like glass prison that Strange was in from episode 4. Just put him in that little ball and just watch him forever. So I love that they weren't supposed to win, they were just supposed to stop it and then keep an eye on it so it doesn't destroy the world. Coming in at number 2 is episode 4, What If Doctor Strange Lost His Heart Instead of His Hands? And seeing Christine die over and over again, and him not being able to stop it, seeing her die so many times in front of him, was hella emotional. And it was the ending just too bloody emotional, because of after everything he did, he didn't win after all, because he still couldn't save her. But oh my god, how bloody deep and depressing was that episode where it just ended. I was fully expecting an end credit scene to explain something to me. I was just like, when the Watcher was like, yeah, that's it, that world is destroyed. We got a sad ending, we got a bad ending, evil prevailed, good didn't win. I was so emotional after that episode. I was like, what am I supposed to think now? You've just given me like the worst case scenario, and I'm just supposed to sit in it? I'm just supposed to like revel in it? What do you want from me, Marvel? I was so distraught after that episode. Highly deserves the number 2 spot, and it was actually number 1, but then nah, what's in number 1 deserves to be there. And yes, at number 1 is episode 5, Zombies. The zombies aspect to this episode isn't why I like it. I literally forget that there's actually zombies in it. It's called Zombies, and I forget that there's zombies in it, because it's Peter in it, and it's Hope in it, and it's this team that was built in it. Hope, Sharon, Happy, Bucky, Okoye, whoever else is there, it's that team. Hope in this was the best character, and honestly, seeing the emotion that Peter went through when Happy died, the jokes in this was bloody hilarious. Happy with his blam, and then when Hope went into Sharon and exploded her and she says, I'm covered in Sharon, like the jokes were hilarious, but then it's the emotional beats in this episode as well. Seeing Peter lose someone else, and he's like, I've just lost Happy, I can't lose you, Hope. And then Hope sacrifices herself, and it's not the sacrifice itself which is sad, it's what she says. The last thing she says is, Peter, smile, smile for me. And honestly, too much emotion went into that, I think. I was so sad. That episode is just totally crazy. Yes, it's crazy seeing zombies in the MCU, but it's even crazier seeing it kind of like Peter-centric. It's down to him to save the world, and then he doesn't end up rescuing them, and it ends with a zombie Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet with all the Infinity Stones. I need a part 2, please, in season 2. I need to see where this takes me. I need to see what zombie Thanos does with the Infinity Stones. What if episode 5, Zombies, so crazy, so emotional, so hilarious, and totally deserves the number 1 spot in my opinion. That is my most favourite episode, and that is the best episode. But that is it of my ranking of every episode, all 9 episodes from season 1 of What If. Please comment down below your ranking, because I would just love to see what ours are the same or where they're different. But if you like this video, please leave it a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, bye!